This Lakshanam, if according to you, is Paricheda Shunyatvam. If you remember, the first Vikalpa, the first option that he had presented was Bheda Shunyatvam. And this Bheda Shunyatvam also cannot become the Lakshana of Akhandatva. Absence of difference cannot become the Lakshanam of Akhandatvam. And he had presented why it cannot be, whether you call the Bheda as Prasiddha, or even when you accept Bheda as Aprasiddha. You remember? Hope people are able to remember that. Even if you say Bheda, now the word Bheda, difference, just don't take it for the verbal this thing. If you remember, Go Bheda and Ashwa Bheda, we have seen what exactly the word Bheda is able to convey to us. So that Bheda Shunyatvam cannot be accepted, whether the Bheda that you want to say, whose absence you want to prove as Akhandatvam, that Bheda is Prasiddha, or even if you say that the Bheda is Aprasiddha, Akhandatvam cannot be called as Bheda Shunyatvam. Yesterday's class. Then he says, well, sir, even if you are holding in mind the idea that let us define Akhandatvam as Paricheda Shunyatvam. What does he say? How are we going to define Akhandatvam? As Paricheda Shunyatvam. If this is your attempt, then we will say even this definition is ridden with the dosha, with the defect called as asambhavana, impossibility. Why? Because the word paricheda allows us to understand that it means avayava, vastuantara, athava abhav. What all three things? Once again, paricheda means avayavaha, a part, a limb. Like my hand is the avayava of this body. The hand is the avayava, the part of this body. An organ, a limb, a part is called as avayava. That also we have seen. He says, Brahmanaha niravayavattvena avayava aprasakto tannishedha ayogena tatshunyattvasya grahana yogat. Because this Brahman is said as to be niravayava, partless. Is partless. Then how can this Akhandatvam be defined as avayava shunyatvam? Because when there is no possibility of that object being there, tasya nishedha, to its removal or its refutation is also not possible. So this was the dosha, because prasaktasya nishedha sambhavati. That which is available, only that can be removed. That which is not available at all, how can that be ever removed? So, going by that logic, avayava shunyatvam also was not acceptable as paricheda shunyatvam. Furthermore, if you say it means vastvantaram means another object, vastvantaram can be also called as paricheda, a kind of a limitation. So let us say there is table in front of me, and therefore the table becomes a parichedaka, meaning that it creates the limit for me that this table is not me, I am not this table. Vastvantaram is not Swamiji. Vastvantaram. So now taking this part, that paricheda, if understood as vastvantaram, yet we cannot say akhandatvam is paricheda shunyatvam. I hope the words in Sanskrit are making sense to you. You are registering it. Okay, this is a little technical thing, and we have all known that this book is not simple book only for just the what do they call? It is a little advanced book. Advanced in the sense the author expects that you are able to understand the differences in the words like akhandam and akhandatvam, pot and the potness. Okay, ghata and ghatatvam. There is a difference. Ghata is not ghatatvam, just as cow is not cowness. So all these things, these words have to really make sense to you before we proceed. Well, vastvantaram also cannot be called as paricheda shunyatvam. What is the reason? He says the reason is in that same paragraph now, nadvitiyaha. Put your fingers under the line wherever we are following, if you have physical book. Otherwise, use your cursor to follow the words in PDF. But don't be without a book. Nadvitiyaha. Nadvitiyaha. Even this second option, that paricheda should be understood as vastvantaram, cannot be acceptable. Nadvitiyaha, because this was the second option, vastvantaram. Bhavan mate brahma vyatirikta vastvantarasya manantara siddhataya tad nishedha yogena tad anupapatte. Sir, according to you, since there is nothing else which can be ever proven as another object other than Brahman, Brahman alone is, Paramatma alone is. Other than Paramatma, there is nothing. Brahma vyatirikta vastvantarasya manantara asiddhataya. Manantara means pramanantara. So any other pramanas also cannot prove the presence of any other object other than Brahman. Manantara siddhataya. Manantara siddhataya. Tan nishedha yogena. Therefore, it is not even possible to do the nishedha, to refute, to refuse any other object. That if there was an object, then only we can say that it can be removed, it can be refuted. But it is not there. How can you ever say? And therefore, say suppose, if I have to say, what is camel? So if I say camel is absence of pum-pum, so what would you understand from this? Camel is absence of pum-pum. What is pum-pum? There is no object like pum-pum. Tasya nishedha sambhavati. Hey, if it is not there, its absence also cannot be said. And therefore, how can you define camel as absence of pum-pum? You see, that I'm just, this is in a little lighter vein, but the nishedha ayogena, hey, it cannot be there. And therefore, that akhandatvam still remains undefined. Its lakshanam cannot be made. And if the lakshanam cannot be made, vastu siddhi cannot take place. Vastu siddhi, siddhi means to make it evident, cognizant or cognizable. It cannot be made evident. If it is not evident, how can you ever prove its presence, its existence? Tan nishedha yogena tadanupattehe. Therefore, even this option that paricheda shunyatvam is akhandatvam is unacceptable. Well then, let us hop to the third option. The third option, the tritiya vikalpa, was abhavaha, just absence. Paricheda would mean, now the word paricheda, which carries these three connotations, avayavaha, parichedaha, athva abhavaha, out of which paricheda, if understood as avayava, it still cannot be used over here as paricheda shunyatva. If paricheda is understood as vastvantaram, still cannot be used. If we simply say absence, would that be acceptable to you? So he says, no, sir, even abhav cannot be taken as paricheda in your case. And then say paricheda shunyatvam is, is akhandatvam. Why not? No tritiyaha. No tritiyaha means tritiya vikalpaha, which is the third vikalpa. And vikalpa for what? It is a vikalpa for the word paricheda. What is that vikalpa? Abhavaha. Na tritiyaha. How does he now refuses it? Anadyanantam ajo nityaha ityadi shrutya brahmano anadi nityataya dhamsa pragabhavayoho asambhavat. Now, when you say absence, this absence would mean prior absence or latter absence. Like the pot, the object pot. Before the pot was created, the pot is absent. So this absence of the pot is called as prior absence. It's called as prior absence. Then the pot is broken. Now the pot is no longer there. So therefore it is called as the latter absence. What are our technical terms for these? Prior absence is called as pragabhav. What is it called? Pragabhav. Latter absence is called as dvamsa. Prior absence is called as pragabhav. Latter absence is called as dvamsa. Now, Brahman is how anadi anantam, so there is no prior absence to it. Brahman is anantam, and therefore there is no latter absence. So absence itself is not there. Therefore, to say akhandatvam means absence of absence. What is this? The object has to be there. The object has to be there to refuse it. This abhava is aprasakta. Therefore, how can it be even made into a defining characteristic? Again, your definition is carrying the defect of asambhavana. Why? Anadyanantam ajo nityaha ityadi shrutya brahmanaha anadinityataya dhvamsa pragabhavayoho asambhavat. So dhvamsa and pragabhav are not there in Brahma. So that what is not there, then to say remove that, and that removed or that is going to become our defining characteristic. So let us say, again, I will explain it, making it, trying to give it a little clarity. And that is, say suppose, if you want to define what is Swamiji's room, and you say Swamiji's room is that which from where the elephant is removed, elephant is absent. Are bhai, the elephant was never there. How are you going to identify my room by absence of elephant? निकालना तो तब होगा जब वो वहां पे बैठा हुआ. So this cannot become a defining characteristic. Tan nishedha yoga. Okay. Dhvamsa praga bhavayoho asambhavat. Well, sir, you're talking about absence which can be found in time. Then let us say deshakrit. Not deshakrit, deshakrit is the last one. Atyanta bhava, absolute absence. So here he says, advitiya shrutya brahmanaha brahmanastraikalika anadi nityatyanta bhavasya sambhavat. Because Brahman is said as to be advitiya, non-dual. Therefore, even traikalika abhav, it is not there at all. It is this cannot become the defining characteristic. Advitiya shrutya brahmanaha traikalika anadinitya atyanta bhavasya asambhavat. Ataiva tad anyonyabhavasya asambhavat. So also, because Brahman is advitiya, non-dual, even the absence which is anyonyabhava. Anyonyabhava means mutual absence. What is mutual absence? So let us take two objects, the pot and the cloth. The pot and the cloth. So there is absence of pot in the cloth, and there is absence of cloth in the pot. Absence of pot in the cloth and absence of cloth in the pot. Because pot is pot, cloth is cloth. This mutual absence is called as anyonyabhav, which shows two objects. And those two objects means the pot is not the cloth is not the pot. Ghataha pato nasti. Pataha ghato nasti. The pot is not the cloth is not the pot. Two different objects. Mutual absence, anyonyabhav. There cannot, this anyonyabhav also cannot be there because Brahman alone is. Therefore, there is no anya vastu whose abhava now you can ever say, and that abhava, absence of that abhava, you cannot say is paricheda shunyatvam. Okay? So you cannot even use the word paricheda shunyatvam as the defining characteristic of akhandatvam. You remember, why is he doing all this? Why is this all argument put up? Because according to the opponent, the akhandatvam, which is the mechanism which will determine the meaning of the word, sentence, not of the word, which will define the meaning of the sentence Tattvamasi, is not made evident. If it is not, then the sentence Tattvamasi can never ever bring the knowledge that Atma is Brahman. Okay, that's why. Ataeva means advitiya shrutya. Ataeva means advitiya shrutya, the same reason why we did not accept Traikalika bhava as paricheda. Traikalika bhava as paricheda, and tasya bhava means abhav, traikalika abhav shunyatvam cannot be used as the definition because of advitiya shruti. So also because of the advitiya shruti, even anyonyabhava shunyatvam cannot be used. Tasmad aprasakta pratishedha ayogena abhavaha parichedaha tatshunyatvam akhandatvam iti asangatam etat. Therefore, the whole thing would be absurd to use abhava as the meaning of the word paricheda. Okay? And tasya parichedasya shunyatvam. Two steps. What is paricheda? Abhavaha. And what is akhandatvam? Paricheda shunyatvam. If paricheda shunyatvam means akhandatvam and the word paricheda means abhavaha, so abhava shunyatvam is akhandatvam. If this is going to be your case, then this whole thing is unacceptable. Asangatam is illogical. Asangatam eta. Etena अनेक पर्याय शब्द प्रकाशत्वे सति विशिष्टत्वं तद इति निरस्तम पूर्वोक्त दोषत्रयस्यापि तुल्यत्वात्. This one line I will just leave it. Maybe we'll come back to this line later on. Tasmad akhandatvam brahmavakyartha iti asangatam. Vakyartham it should be. There has to be a dot on top. No, vakyarthaha. Sorry. Tasmad, what is akhandam? Brahmavakyartha iti asangatam iti ashankya. Now that you have placed the dosha, the defect of impossibility when it comes to defining akhandatvam. And therefore, since akhandatvam cannot be made evident, cannot be ever proven, hence lakshana bhavat vastu siddhi cannot take place. And therefore, akhandatvam is not possible. With these objections from the Purva Paksha, now it is the responsibility of the Siddhanti to now explain and make evident what is akhandatvam, on whose strength the Vakyam will be able to deliver its meaning. What is the meaning of the Vakyam? Jiva Brahma Aikyam. Okay? That can, now it is your responsibility, sir. Now, how can this Jiva Brahma Aikya ever be proven? So therefore, now what is akhandatvam will be told to us. On the page number 121 in the Moola Grantha, that which is printed in bold. That what is printed in bold. So basically, akhandatvam is not jati. Akhandatvam is not even upadhi. It is not jati because we have seen why it is refused as jati. Why it cannot be called as even upadhi? Because if you say akhandatvam is bheda shunyatvam, that is also absurd. If you say akhandatvam is paricheda shunyatvam, that is also illogical and therefore not even upadhi. Therefore, what is this akhandatvam on whose strength you want to prove Jiva, the meaning of the Vakyam Jiva Brahma Aikyam? So now we are on that. So on page number 121 in the physical copy and page 155 in the PDF, the Moola Grantha. Moola Grantha. Akhandatvam nama. Therefore, there is a need to define akhandatvam because of all these objections which were raised. Akhandatvam nama vijatiya sajatiya swagata bheda shunyatvam. What is akhandatvam? Akhandatvam nama vijatiya sajatiya swagata bheda shunyatvam. It is absence of bheda. What kind of bheda? Vijatiya bheda, sajatiya bheda, and swagata bheda. All these three bhedas are absent. This absentness of all the three bhedas, three differences, is akhandatvam. How? Let us see that. What is vijatiya bheda? What is sajatiya bheda? And what is swagata bheda? We have to see. But anyways, we will see that. Let us read the next line. Sarvasya prapanchasya brahma vyatiriktasya kalpitattvena mithyatvat vijatiya bheda shunyata jiva paramatmanoho atyantaikyat sajatiya bheda shunyata ekarasatvat swagata bheda shunyata. In one line, he has packed a lot. Commentary part. The commentary of that goes to page number 123. In physical copy, 157 in PDF. In between, whatever was there was only the objection part. And always remember that when the Purva Paksha is strong, only then the Siddhanta Paksha will become stronger. Okay? Akhandatvam upadhireva. So now he says this, whatever this akhandatvam is upadhi. But sir, did we not tell you that it is impossible to define this akhandatvam and accept it as upadhi? So he says, nacha tan nirvachana sambhavaha iti. No, sir. It is not that you express this objection that it is asambhava dosha is there. That is not true. Tan nirvachana sambhavaha itiyaha. Asambhava dosha is there. No. Itiyaha vijatiya. What is vijatiya bheda? Suppose we say the cow is different from the horse because it is a different species. The tree is different from the bird, different species. So this, can we say, interspecial difference, if there can be any word like this. Vijatiya, belonging to another species, another jati. So that shows the difference. A tree is different from the sparrow. The horse is different from the cow. So this kind of a difference is called as Vijatiya Bheda. What is it called? Vijatiya Bheda. So when we are going to say what is Akhandatvam, all the three have to be there, but we will take that in parts. How will, if you have to do a little parishkar of Akhandatvam as defined, it will be Vijatiya Bheda Shunyatve Sati Sajatiya Bheda Shunyatve Sati Swagata Bheda Shunyatvam. Sati means not Shankar, Shankar Bhagwan's wife. Okay? I mean, being. Vijatiya Bheda Shunyatvam. So now he says, but sir, there cannot be anything which is Vijatiya, because there is nothing other than Brahman. If there was presence of anything other than Brahman, then only you can say there is another object called as Vijatiya object. That what is not Brahman. So he says, no, sir. But let us look at this. Nacha Vijatiyadi Bhedasya Vijatiyadi means he has covered all the three Vedas. Aprasiddhataya, aprasakta, pratishedhanupapatya, pratidhananupatya nahi, pratishedhanupapatya, tatshunyatvam, please correct that part, those who have physical copy. Tatshunyatvam durgraham iti vachyam. Don't say that it is not possible to take the shunyatvam, the vijatiya, the bheda shunyatvam cannot be there because there is nothing vijatiya, there is nothing sajatiya, there is nothing swagata bheda also. Iti vachyam. Why? Why, sir? Why should we not? Bhrantya prasiddha sambhavena. Because of the error, it is already known to you. Bhrantya prasiddha sambhavena tatshunyatva graha sambhava. So in case of the snake and rope, if a person wants to know what is that rope, that what you have understood as snake, that is actually absence of snake. But snake was never there. Sir, but was it not accepted? Is it not accepted by you? Erroneously. So, Bhrantya Prasiddha Sambhave. Over here, what is the Prasiddhi? How is it? Bhrantya. Through error. Through error. Bhrantya Prasiddha Sambhavena Tatshunyatva Graha Sambhavat. Now, for that person, it is possible to say that this rope is Sarpashunyam. Okay? So, Bhrantya Prasiddha Sambhavena Tatshunyatva Graha Sambhavat. It is possible to accept that. Vrikshadinam Vijatiyo Ghatadi Tadbhedo Vriksheshu Prasiddhaha. Now, in case of two things, like the vriksha meaning the tree, and a pot. In case of the tree and the pot, ghata, the vriksha and the ghata. Let us see. I know this is getting a little tougher on you, but this is not really tough. Once when you have got the grasp of what is being said, it no longer remains difficult. It is difficult as long as one really doesn't get it. So that is it. Now, if you have understood Ashwabheda will remain in the cow, isn't it? And Gobheda is something that is in the horse. Correct? Gobheda will be there in the horse. Will the Gobheda be there in the go? No. Like that, Ghatabheda, where will it be? Vriksheshu, in the trees. And Vrikshabheda will be there in the Ghata. This is called as Vijatiya Bheda. Vijatiyaha Ghatadi. Tad Bhedo. Vijatiya is what? Vrikshadinam Vijatiyaha. What is Vijatiya for the Vriksha? Ghatadi. Ghat, etc. Vrikshadinam Vijatiyaha Ghatadi. Tad Bhedo. Vriksheshu Prasiddhaha. Lokanam ekasya vrikshasya vrikshantaram sajatiyam. And in this world, we don't see? Though there are two trees, but one is a mango tree, the other one is a coconut tree. In spite of belonging to the same species of the trees, there is a difference, internal difference between the species, same species. The internal difference between the same species. Then we are not talking about two different Vijatiya objects. So now this, if there is a mango tree, the coconut tree Bheda will be there in the mango tree. And mango tree Bheda will be there in the coconut tree, but both of them are trees. So it is the tree Jati. Vriksha Jati is the same. And therefore, compelled by this experience, we have to say Sajatiya Bheda. What is it? Sajatiya Bheda. Ekasya vrikshasya vrikshantaram sajatiyam. Tatra anyonya bhedaha anyonyasmin prasiddhaha. So now we know that the mutual absence, that mutual bheda, absence, actually to say bheda as just as we have that mutual absence, anyonya bhav, there is anyonya bhedaha. The bheda and absence are similar to each other, but not the same. They are different. That's why we are forced to say that. Tatra anyonya bhedaha anyonyasmin prasiddhaha. So this bheda of one object in another and the absence of the previous object in the next is prasiddha. We know that. Okay? Prasiddhaha. So we have now understood what is Vijatiya Bheda. We have understood what is Sajatiya Bheda. And remember, do a little bit of your own independent contemplation about the word Bheda. Then come to Vijatiya Bheda, Sajatiya Bheda. Then look at these lines and how this has to be defined clearly, because this is the only work of the language of Nayayika, of the logic. Prasiddha. Swagatam shakha patradi tadbhedo vrikshe prasiddha. Vrikshe. So there is another printing error. Typo over here. Vrikshe. Make that clear. Prasiddha pratyakshadina. So in the same tree also, the leaves are not the branches are not the leaves. Correct? So there is swagata bheda. The difference the internal difference in the same object. The internal difference in the same species is sajatiya. The internal difference in the same object is called as swagata bheda. And this bheda is prasiddha. How do you require Shruti to tell you? Do you require the Veda to tell you that the leaves are not the branches are not the leaves, the fruit is not the flower is not. It is pratyaksha. It is seen. It is perceived. Pratyaksha. Pratyakshadina. So this pramana is also there. Naivam brahmani sambhavati. So these three Vedas are not there in Brahman. Sarvasya iti are not there. So basically this Veda, whether it is Vijatiya Bheda, Sajatiya Bheda, or Swagata Bheda, all these three Vedas are made evident to you through other pramanas, correct? But these pramanas are functioning under the error, so it is there. So Bhrantya prasiddha sambhavena, that remember that. Bhrantya prasiddha sambhavena tat shunyatva graha sambhavat. Tasya shunyatva graha, how is it that possible? Bhrantya prasiddhatvena. That's why it is sambhava. There is a possibility. Naivam brahmani sambhavati. And this is what is said in that original line. What was the original line? Our original line? Akhandatvam nama vijatiya sajatiya swagata bheda shunyatvam. What is akhandatvam? Now coming straight to that akhandatvam, it would mean vijatiya sajatiya swagata bheda shunyatvam. Okay, how is that? What exactly now? So first of all, it is that the dosha which you have brought, the defect which you are saying, which is the defect of impossibility, of asambhavana. This defect is not present over here is what is said. The defect is not present. Which defect? The defect of impossibility. Why this defect of impossibility is not there? Because Bhrantya prasiddha sambhavena. Okay? Bhrantya prasiddha sambhavena. Tatshunyatva graha sambhavat. So there is sambhavana. Tatshunyatvasyaapi sambhav is there. Possible. Why? Bhrantya prasiddha sambhavena. Okay? So now all the objections that you had raised before, all of them, we have cast it into the dustbin. It is no longer an objection because that objection does not hold any meaning because it is possible. Just how possible? Bhrantya prasiddha sambhavena. Okay? Now we are going to see what is this akhandatvam as upadhi, and that akhandatvam means vijatiya sajatiya swagata bheda shunyatvam. We will see this when we meet next. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashitau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Thank you all. We will have Bhagavad Gita in the evening. Thank you very much.